Welcome, Flyers fans. You're listening to Chris Mayer, Flyers Fan Mania 93 on YouTube.
Okay, this is going to be short and sweet. Flyers lose 9-2 to the Washington Capitals, and if you remember, last season when the Flyers lost 9-0 to the New York Rangers, very similar games, and it just had that kind of vibe, and it was just like it wasn't going to stop. Really rough game. I mean, again, like, first of all, you gave up 9 goals. Second, you lost 2 players to injury. Honestly, it looked like you lost a third. Farabee looked like he did something to his wrist or his hand. I don't know what's going to happen there. Carter Hart would leave it for the first period. No Cam Atkinson after that hit. And Atkinson, he's been battling an injury. So, there's that whole thing as well. And then Lindblom is already not playing in this game due to the lineup change. But again, so the lines look a little bit different going into this game. You have Farabee with Hayes and Atkinson, Konecny with Lawton and Tippett, Van Riemsdyk, Frost, and Bobby Brink, who made his NHL debut. Noah Cates on the fourth line with Thompson and Brown. Defense, Provorov, York, Sanheimer, Stalainen, Connaughton, and Attard, and Carter Hart in net. So, Caps will get the first goal off a bank off of Hart. Second goal, slam dunk, Attard, and Connaughton did not communicate. Oshie's literally sitting there wide open. He could have read a book and still scored that goal. It was just ridiculous. Flyers would get a goal 36 seconds later, and then Faravari would literally walk through the entire defense, and Ronnie Attard. So that's 2 plays right there. That essentially it's just the way that the team is defensively, and they've been so loose defensively tonight and last game against Anaheim. It was like a continuation of the second and third period against the Ducks happened tonight. They were loose on pucks. They didn't compete as much as I would have liked. There were some plays where it was just like their pass was either behind, too far in front. It was just like they were just trying these very odd passes, and puck management was not good in the first period. So 3-1 for Faravari. Flyers are going to Flyers are going to power play on a hit. That Wilson hit on Atkinson. Atkinson looked shaken up after that. I thought Brink had a good setup, couple nice passes. He was the Flyers' best forward tonight, and that was not because it was his first game. It was more just because he was the most noticeable and just actually played well for again being his first game. So Jones is in net to start the second, as I mentioned, and Flyers and the most aggravating part of this game, I think, was the fourth goal, because the Flyers had at least a 2-minute shift, or at least 3 lines were able to cycle. The Hayes line was out there, and they just kept cycling and cycling. Turnover by Hayes, they go up the ice, and the Caps score 4-1. It's just like nothing can ever go right for them. I don't understand what it is. And 5-1, Sherry, that goal. That's probably one of the... Since I've watched this team, it's probably the worst breakdown I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen some bad ones, and I'm sure everybody's seen some bad ones, but man, that was bad. First of all, he's left wide open, and it's like, look, I'm not the guy that likes to nitpick certain players. Like, I know everybody likes to, kind of talk about Ristolainen, and, if he leaves a guy open, well, it's like, there's not help from the center. This was on everybody, but the one guy I'm picking on here is Attard, because this wasn't the first time in this game, and it's nothing against him at all. I haven't necessarily really loved his play. I thought he had a solid game. Probably his best game was on the road against Columbus in the 4-1 win this past Thursday. Thought he followed that up with just another kind of average game against Anaheim. Didn't do anything too crazy. This was easily his worst game. Easily. Again, on the second goal, doesn't communicate at all. The third goal gets walked. And then this goal, him and Provorov step up. And Provorov stepped up first. If you go back and watch it, Provorov went up first. And I don't know why the Flyers are doing this, because it wasn't the first time this happened, where the defensemen were literally just skating with the other guy at the top of the blue line. Like, if you watch Kevin Connaughton on the second goal, he's at the point. Like, he's up at the point. I still have no idea how that happens. But again, Sherry was wide open, and it's like, it's just ridiculous. I mean, he had all the time in the world. He could have sat there and knit a sweater before he took that goal. So it's 5-1. Caps would get 2, 6-1 from Irwin on a shot from the point. Eller make it 7-1 on a breakaway. 8-1. Schultz would score on a shot from the point. And, good for Joel Farabee. Because he shows, he clearly was pissed off. Like, you're losing 8-1. And I know it might not matter to some people, but this game was also on ESPN, so it's national television. I don't know if that matters to the players. It probably doesn't. But again, that's the other kind of side of things. He shows a little bit of fight and shows a little bit of anger. And it's like, that's something that Farabee's kind of done since Yo has taken over, and also since Giroux has left is when you've seen it the most. So good for him on there, on that play. Flyers would score. JVR would get his second of the game. Brinks first NHL point. Pass over to Hayes on the one-timer would deflect off JVR and go in, and then Caps would score to make it 9-2 to end this one. Just an atrocious effort in this game. And it's like, I'm just at a loss for words. Like, you have 9 games left now, or 9 games, something like that. And it's just, at this point, I'm trying to find positives. I thought Brink had a good game. I thought Cates competed. I thought, he looked noticeable at times. Had a couple good shifts with that fourth line earlier on in the game before it was a complete blowout. But again, if you're looking at the stats, and I know everybody looks at shots differently if they kind of mean everything and they don't. This was reflective. The Flyers only had 21 shots in this game, and it sure looked that way. I think they only had 12 through going at least half of this game. Added a couple late there on the power play. Not many crazy scoring chances. It just terrible game, and Flyers end up losing 9-2. Very similar to the 9-0 game against New York last year. And it's just an embarrassing game. It really is. So let me know your guys' thoughts below. Let me know what you thought of Bobby Brink tonight. Remember, guys, podcast, articles, those links are on my channel. Remember to check out Garrett Construction. If you do get any work done by them, you can use code FFM93. Mention that. You get 10% off your order. And also SeatGeek, you can use code FlyersFanMania for $20 off your first order. Again, check out the sponsors. Merchandise link is in the description below. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you all again soon.